a very big thanks to the Marin School for hosting. We so appreciate the use of this auditorium, and it makes the center such a... And I'd also like to give a big thanks to all of the people. It's a really big job putting on the high school poetry program, from getting out the submissions, collecting them, readers who read over 1,000 poems that were submitted, choosing them, putting them into an anthology, printing the anthologies, and now this award ceremony. So I can't, there are too many people to mention, but I'd like us all to give a big hand to all of those that really helped to put this on. And two key people that I will mention by name are Parto Sereno, who will be our MC for the evening and is our brand new poet laureate for Marin, so we're really pleased about that, who supervised the poetry in the schools, the whole selection of the readers. I'd also really like to thank Gabby Rillo, who orchestrated the food and everything that relates to this evening's celebration. She did a terrific job. That's Gabby over there. And I'd also like to thank Jacqueline Cudler, who will be handing out the awards this evening to the first, second, and third prize winners and honorable mention. Jackie was one of the co-founders of the Marin Poetry Center and actually co-founder of the high school project, and this is our 26th year. So we're really pleased to have Jackie here as our final judge. And I think that's about it. So let me introduce, here's Parto Sereno, who will be your MC and take you through this wonderful evening.
Thank you, and welcome, poets. Now you're poets. And I think I'm going to start with a poem by Pablo Neruda, who says it better than anybody I can think of about poetry. And this is his poem called La Poesía. And I won't read it in Spanish because I'm not very good at that. But I'm going to just read it. Well, we'll see how far I go. And it was at that age, poetry came in search of me. I don't know. I don't know where it came from winter or a river. I don't know how or when. No, they were not voices, they were not words, nor silence, but from a street I was summoned, from the branches of night, abruptly from the others, among violent fires, or returning alone. There I was, without a face, and it touched me. I'll go on. I did not know what to say. My mouth had no way with names. My eyes were blind, and something started in my soul, fever or forgotten wings, and I made my own way, deciphering that fire. And I wrote the first faint line, faint, without substance, pure nonsense, pure wisdom, of someone who knows nothing. And suddenly, I saw the heavens unfastened and open, planets, palpitating planetations, shadow perforated, riddled with arrow, fire, and flowers, the winding night, the universe. And I, infinitesimal being, drunk with the great starry void, likeness, image of mystery, felt myself a part, a pure part of the abyss. I wheeled with the stars. My heart broke loose on the wind. So, that's good. I think every poet that I know, person who finds themselves often lost in making their own poems, loves that poem. Because it says what really happens. We get called. It's almost like it wasn't your choice, those of you who are sitting in these front seats. I was part of the selection process. There were loads and loads of poems that we waded through. I shouldn't say it that way. I mean, we read lovingly through. But there was a lot of poems to read, and those of you who are in the audience, and there are many who were part of the reading crew, knows there were so many poems, and all heartfelt. And yet the ones that rose to the surface rose almost unquestionably to the surface. And so I just want you to know that poetry has come in search of you, and it apparently has found you. And those of us who are here tonight get to hear that voice that Neruda is describing so beautifully, that without a face, in a way even without words, something that's further than words. It comes from deeper down and finds its words in us. So with that, I think I will introduce our first people. I guess I do need to say that we have two microphones for a reason, and that is that one microphone is for here and now. It's actually the lower one, and that one is allowing you to hear through the speakers. The other microphone is because this is being taped and videoed, and will live on for posterity, and will be actually on the Marin Poetry Center YouTube station. I think that's what you call it, and maybe not. You're laughing. But anyway, so you can find out more about that. But and I hope you'll all want to see it. So you'll get a chance to see yourself delivering your poem. And so this top microphone is going to the camera, and it's part of the DVD production. So and make sure you're right here, where I am, right at the mic, is necessary for both now and then to hear it. Okay, so we are actually going to go in the order of the book, although the prize winners we are going to save till the end. So the first, I should look at what page that's on. We're going to start with Lily Willis. Let me see where that is. You want to come up, Lily? Oh, good. Yay. Please welcome Lily Willis. She's going to read. Maybe I'll let you tell her. I'll let her tell you.
Regarding our last agreement. Dear world, regarding those things I said to you, when I told you I would keep an open mind and have faith in you, or the time I promised I'd learned my lesson. About that, I lied. But world, I may not always be open-minded, but I will always try. And though I may not always have faith in you, I will do my best. And regarding those lessons, I can promise I will not forget again. You see, I do not make the same mistakes twice. Sincerely, me. P.S. Oops, please don't be too mad, but I lied a little eensy bit again. Regarding the time I told you I would always try, that wasn't exactly true. To be honest, sometimes I won't try. I will make a stupid mistake, decide to do the easy thing, even if it's wrong. And another thing, regarding the time I said I'd always do my best. Well, let's just say, for the sake of full disclosure, that was a bit of a falsehood. Sometimes I will do my worst, wreak havoc for the hell of it, on purpose. And, in all sincerity, I do make the same mistakes twice. Occasionally, more than twice. More than twice, the hard way. In light of all of this world, I would like to clarify and ensure that you know, sometimes I simply will not try. Sometimes I will do my worst. Sometimes it will take me more than twice to learn my lesson. I'm working on it, but that's where I am right now. World, you can love me for it. So, I don't lie when I say to you, I've been in love with this world long before I got here.
Now I found my bearings too, so I just want to say that Lily is from Sir Francis Drake High School and in 9th grade. We have a lot of good poems to look forward to. I love the courage that you're going to hear tonight. That was just a sample. Our next reader is Sarah Elizabeth Kuduto. My Heart Can Make the Daylight Crackle from Marin Catholic. You hear? Good.
The grain in the fields aches with pregnant summer, made ripe and ready by heat oppressive. Cypress trees rip their gnarled and twisted bodies toward the heavens, like their ugly beauty pains them. They are framed by a whirling blue and white sky. Workers chant, stars boil, father and son are made immortal on their lunch break. All are images brought to life by a hand that would one day chop off an ear. Vincent van Gogh laughs when you call him mad. He sees dimensions you don't. With orange hair and a chaotic brain, he is a man, a mind on fire. Frida tells her lover that she wants to sky him because she can think of nothing greater or grander. Bony, prepubescent girls want to know why she doesn't shave her brow. They can't see in her paintings how her love shakes her so violently that even language crumbles beneath the earthquakes of romance. They can't tell that that patch of hair is the only thing holding the islands of her body and her soul together. Her love is a sky and a train. Diego never knew what hit him. Neruda writes her 101 love sonnets, and none are ever good enough. No words can capture the silver and gold and rubies in her hair. Language will stay as pathetic and insubstantial as the morning mist, as long as she is alive and as long as she is dead. He gets lost in her hair, her skin, her eyes, her mouth, her teeth, the blooming flower of her body, and then there he is found. He calls the light and the wheat of her hands destiny. He never stops scribbling her name. My ribs are the shell of a burned-out building, and dust dances inside my veins. I write love poems to the woman I'll be someday. My atoms are made of diamonds and gold, and I am as hard and as precious as both. Isolated, I find solace only in the crazed love of dead artists gone wild with passion. No one sees the logic behind their pain. Their words and paintings are quiet storms of love and light. My poetry, too, tastes like metal and ozone. My heart can make the daylight crackle.
Our next reader is Emily Phobes. Hope I said that right, from Redwood High School, 12th grade. Emily? No. I guess we'll go on. I know that, yeah. So what's happening is there are a few people who have actually requested for someone else to read their poem. And we have Claire Blotter here, who is a professional performance poet. So she's going to be reading some of them. I'm thinking that too, yeah. So I think we will skip it just to make sure that we have enough time and good time for the people who are here. So, okay, we'll go on. But you'll enjoy the poem. It was good, just so you know. The next one is Connor Glynn. The Dark is his poem, and he's from Tamalpais High School. Is he here? Whoa. All right, we'll go on. The next poem is The Man on the Mountain by Ben Cook, Redwood High School, 10th grade. Yay, welcome.
Thank you. The Man on the Mountain. You stand in the center of the sunlit mountain, atop the city of clouds. Old in your figure, but always young in your heart and gaze. You take a moment to rest and embrace the beauty, just as I do at the top of every mountain. I am young in my figure, but growing old in my heart. I can only hope to one day be as young as you are.
Our next poem is I Always Encourage by Skylar Silvera from Sir Francis Drake. Is she here, Skylar? No. Our next reader is Montana Beecroft. I Found You. Tamalpais High School? You know, May is a difficult season, I think. She wants it read. Oh, she wants it read. Okay, very good. So Montana Beecroft's poem, I Found You, will be read by Claire Blotter. Please welcome Claire.
And I'm doing this because I coach some of the students and went through the book and read all the poems and put 2 or 3 tone words for each section. So I kind of know the poems and really love them. This is Montana's poem, I Found You. Is that the one? Yes. Yeah. Okay. I found you. At the world's end, I found you, floating in a chamber of glass, wreathed with your hair around you, blank eyes staring silently past. At the end of time, I found you in a water-filled world of dreams, a cage of steel and glass around you, a single daisy floating merrily past. In the ocean depths, I found you where the ocean never reaches the sky. The weight of the blue surrounds you, glints of silver swimming peacefully by. With trembling hands, I unchained you, pulled you up through the spires of bone. With the weight of my arms around you, ribbons of light go shimmering past. Rising upwards, ever upwards, I carried you through crystal elevators of light. Streams of lost memories entangle us, the sea clinging tighter as we pass. From the maw of the sea beast we surfaced, fighting and gasping for breath. From your cold, dead eyes a spark emerged, and I saw that you were myself.
Our next poem is I Am Simple by Bridget Tong from Tamalpais High School, 10th grade. No. And the next poem is Night Echoes by Christian Lee, the Branson School. Welcome, Christian.
Walk with me. We could go past the yellow-lighted windows, through the deep blue atmosphere, that rejuvenating air. And down by the old mill, where the mercurial water tumbles and presents its white noise. And we sing to it, and behind those windows, someone hears some kids filling the hills with nostalgic reverberance. We could see our breath condense in the light streaming down on us from the library's side windows, dissipating into the dark tree shadows, and we walk back through familiar streets with the sound of the bridge reaching us from a mile away. Headlights against stars reflecting off the lake. We could run beside the water, jumping, shouting, trying to catch more of the winter night, and the world listens and just smiles back.
So it's beautiful to hear these poems after I read them on my own several times, and now they have, human beings breathing them and speaking them. So you're very lucky to be hearing them, because a poem really is finally born when it's in the air and it gets into the body and the ear. So our next poem is Street Walk by Elijah Hamilton, and Bart Jones was going to come and read it. Are you here, Bart? Or is Elijah here? I don't think he is. He was one of my students. I think I'll read it. Is that playing favorites? It is, isn't it? It's a short little poem. You couldn't see me in outer space. I'm invisible in the night because of my dark skin. Walking down the street, picking up lucky pennies, living on a harvest of lies, there are so many. Eating the thirst, starbursts, I got plenty. The music of cars skirts the fragility of smoke in my eyes. Now they're burning. Tires kick up a chorus of steam from the rubber with the darkest of skin. So the next reader is Emma Weinswig. Are you here, Emma? It's a long poem from Tamhai. Tamhai maybe has something else tonight. Our next reader is Naomi, let's see if I can say this, Tatarsky-Bridges. And you're going to see her a few times tonight. Her poems kept coming to the top. This is War by Naomi.
I wander down to the shore, where I chance upon the children getting ready for war. They take the wet and gritty ground in their hands and fashion a fortress with the haste of real soldiers at battle. Their war cries are shrill and cannot match the beating of the waves. I try to ask the youngest child for what reason they are challenging the ocean, and he stares at me with wide open eyes that are clear and bright. I am too weathered and old to see deep inside of their light, and he does not speak, so I gesture him away. The ocean retreats without giving thought to the children's plans and forces its sheer power on them without care. The calls of wave and child are chaos, and my eyes grow older with the children's frantic glee and the pure and harsh dominance of nature and the vastness of the sea. I ask the eldest child why they are at war, and he tells me it is for fun and runs off to sculpt walls of sand with his hands against the rush of wave and shout and land, and against the solemn gaze of me.
The next reader is Bella Gossman from San Domenico. Is she here? Oh, good. Oh. So get a little closer to the mic.
Oh, God. With this quiet sense of desperate permeating the walls and linen and doorknobs and pillows and curtains of this place that cried like a newborn, please help me and pick me up and hold me, and I promise I'll be quiet, but please don't walk by me one more time. Don't tell yourself I don't need love. I do. Because there's a bird building a nest on my foreclosure sign, and there's a stuffed toy elephant lying in the overgrown, weed-filled grass. And because on the concrete there are lies written in chalk of a hopscotch game that was never won, never finished. And this quiet sense of desperate changes pitch as the days roll by, like a tumbleweed people see in the desert, because deserted is what we are and what we are destined to stay. There are holes in our walls that only the money that the people don't have can fill, and with this restless sense of urgency, we ask you to help. Because doors don't open themselves, and curtains don't close, and pillows can't hold dreams if there are no sleepy eyes to fill them. The bird outside will build a family, and the elephant will slowly fall apart. The grass will grow so tall that no one walking by, eyes down on the broken, uneven pavement, will even notice this quiet sense of desperate.
Wow. Our next reader is Carolyn Rohrer from San Francis Drake. What was that? Did I get it right? I did. Oh, good. And this is Close the Door on Your Way Out. Please welcome Carolyn.
I will rebuild you. I will fill your throat with leaves and your head with birds. I will plant carnations in your barren lungs. I will lead herds of goats across the mountains in your chest and tame the lions that crawl through your bones at night. I will fix you. I will put you together. I will rip chunks from the earth and add them to your broken frame. I will fill you from heels to crown with a soul that you will call your own, that you will show to people and say you built, and I will not correct you. I will rip my bleeding heart from my chest. I will tear my lungs out through my ribs. I will crush my bones to powder and throw them like confetti over your head. I will mend every crack and build you up so high that you won't even see me, because we'll be in different time zones, in different weather, divided by miles and feet and inches. And in the end, we will see that neither of us was worth loving after all.
Our next reader is Sofia Venables. Venables, probably. Sofia Venables from Tam High? No. Our next reader is Katie Waring from Sir Francis Drake, Borrowed Heart. No? That's too bad. Our next reader then is, the poem is Forever Instant Friendship, Ella Zarin from Redwood High School. Great. Please welcome Ella.
The classic teenage selfie. Wide eyes, open mouth, my classic trademark. And her, iconic, the closed lip, arched brow, sassafras. Coated in a thin film of sunscreen, I struggle to take the picture. Heads tilted, ecstatic, waiting with the throng of costumed children for the parade to start. Excited to see their parents again after 2 weeks of camp. We guzzle down water from her orange Nalgene, droplets, as evidence, splatter our shirts. Naomi is wearing red. Her tank matches the hat she picked out, veiled and wicker, fit to attend a tea party. She is flushed from the Mendocino heat. Her pink cheeks matched our chapped lips. My blue foam cowboy hat matches the lettering on my camp tee. Our pathetic costumes are outshined by the sequined, clashing assortment of characters surrounding us. As the parade starts, I drink some more from her orange Nalgene. We wave to tearful parents lining the dusty field. After the parade and the big show are over, we head for home, saying our see you soons. The next year, we pick up exactly where we ended. Nothing has changed. Forever instant friendship.
I love all the places we get to visit in these poems. They're all the corners of our hearts we don't always get a chance to be with. The next poem is The Mosaic by Elise Wing from Sir Francis Drake High School. Please welcome Elise.
We sit facing each other on the screen porch, cross-legged and barefoot. The sun slides towards the horizon, yellow and heavy as an egg yolk, as somewhere past the mesquite trees the first cicada chirps. We tell stories we both know the ends of. You say you remember the red balloon, but never mention the needle that popped it. You speak of cherries, but neglect the afternoon I fell from the tree like Finny falling from grace. We talk of roses, but not thorns. I'm sorry to sound cynical. I don't mean to drop poison into the clear water, cast shadows on the photo album, or wake the monsters under the bed. I mean to remember fully. You have pulled a single red thread from the tapestry. You dangle it before you at arm's length. It twists in the wind. It catches the light. Here they are, you say, in their entirety. I want to say there's more. Put down your petty proxy wars. You wage with tales shallow and sickly sweet. Like a golden syrup you attempt to drown our past in by pushing its head under your invented water, for it's time to talk straight. You aren't giving the former me and the former you enough credit. We understood the complexity, the gigglish breaking of rules, the black sulfur mud squelching between our toes as the salt wind tangled our hair, tears once soaked into this porch that we perch on, and I know you remember, in the way that birds flying south, no spring will return. You have a filter to your eye. Let it drop and see our memories fit together like a mosaic.
Our next poem is Bears by Richard Miles from Sir Francis Drake. Please welcome Richard.
Have you ever thought that you spell bears the same way you spell seers? The same way that you could speak about the seers of those bears, or perhaps the hares on the bears who attend fairs to buy snares. And a bear could live in a lair, which is spelled like hair but pronounced like layer, like a layer of topping topped upon a pop rocks popping, pop, lock and drop, snap, crackle, pop, get it poppin' at the sock hop, hippity hip hop, playing the hip hop, dodging the hopscotch, corn pops, pop chips, corn chips, and popcorn. The unicorn only has its one thorn, and every rose has its one horn. Boom clap, a shot from Jason Bourne, who was only born into lies in disguise, where the lows were low and the highs were high. Roar! It's a bear. You never know when it's gonna attack you.
I love it. All these places where it's around the world in 45 poems. So our next poem is This Is How to Rob a Bank by Cyrus Thelen from Sir Francis Drake High School. Please welcome Cyrus.
Thank you. This is how to rob a bank. As if the moon were Parmesan, firm, flexible, not in the least a way to travel, the sun an omelette. In a dream, the man dressed in black, shoulders back, slack, relaxed, haughty, proud, could keep a crowd's attention. Yet standing lonely, a pool of molten paper enveloping him, when all he wanted was to go testing, to not rest, to do best for public safety. But no, happiness is but a wet artichoke, and you know nothing of it, Mr. Kirby. And you care not to lock your doors when many would give a whole year to have one. Please, let me try to bring down the sky that you shot for.
So the next poem in the book is The Iru Player. I don't know if I said that right. Iru Player by Sharon Fong from the Marin School. No. And so the next poem is Death is Not a Loss by K.C. Seligman, the Marin School, 9th grade.
I'm also in 11th grade. Death is not a loss. The creaking of old hardwood floors, flowers weary with wet petals stuck to the pot. The absence of dogs barking and cats purring is almost unbearable. My own thoughts ticking by. The familiar smell of food does not waft. There are no lights on, just dust. Dust on the chair, the TV, even my favorite picture on the wall. The house is almost empty, but the language on the walls speaks, calling out memories. The presence of her comes close. Presence, here I am. In this place I once had a dream of sunshine moments and cold lemonade. The dust is now clearing as pictures become bright, past becomes present, and the roads of memories end at the horizon where I also end. Seeping into the cold, dark couch, in this sea of comfort is an expression of love. For death is not only a loss, but memories of life.
And the next poem is Identity by Carly Silva from Sir Francis Drake. Please welcome Carly.
Somewhere in some unimportant town, a boy is at a party with his family, uncomfortable and uneasy in the dress his family made him wear. He's been showered with glitter and lip gloss, pink stuffed bears and butterflies decorating his walls, earrings and cheap plastic bracelets, told he can't do this, can't do that. A few towns over is a girl, sweaty and exhausted from football practice that her parents made her sign up for. She collapses on her bed. She's been surrounded by soccer balls and footballs, mud puddles and toy cars, the constant expectation to know everything, and she's been made fun of when she dares to cry. She's told she cries like a girl, hits like a girl, but that's what she is, isn't she? He's tired of explaining to his mom why he doesn't want to wear a dress to prom, and she's tired of explaining to her dad why she wants to quit the team. It's not me. Nobody understands that they were born in the wrong body, that their genitals got confused and didn't know which way to grow when they were born, that being too girly or too tomboyish isn't a bad thing. So they'll both keep quiet about who they are and just put on a fake identity.
Seems like I've been involved in the high school poetry contest for a long time. When I first got to Marin, so it was probably 16 years ago now, and it feels like the poems get deeper, stronger, clearer, truer every year. Really quite amazing. Our next poem is Eating the Tide by Tara Ann T. from Redwood High School. Welcome, Tara.
Eating the tide. Just like eating an elephant, you do it, one bite at a time. With each mouthful, coarse grains of your past lives, large pebbles that recreate the lumps in your throat, the message in a bottle, lost out at sea, that was carefully stuffed away, and those little pieces of sea glass, slicing and chafing at your gums, just to remind you, we're still here. Eating the tide, it's just one bite at a time, just one mouthful of your life, your past lives, swallowed up like the ocean swallows the tide.
And our next poem is 0 to 100, Tamalpais High School, Georgia, Pemberton. The next poem is Gray by Edward Filippo, Marin Academy. No. Oh, you're going to read them. Okay, good.
Gray. Gray is a gloomy day, dark clouds spitting rain from the sky. Gray is hot chocolate, lying by the heater, engrossed in a book. Gray is when it is stormy outside but cozy inside, so you couldn't care less. Gray is business suits and briefcases and silent elevator rides. Gray is striding with purpose in meetings that can't be missed. Gray is straightened ties and job interviews, big deals for big clients that need to be finished. Gray, GY in parentheses, is radiation, toxicity, Chernobyl or Nagasaki or 3 Mile Island. Gray is the absorption of a joule of radiation energy by a kilogram of matter. Gray is dangerous, progress, poison, technology, accidents, abundant electricity that is useful but tricky to harness. Gray is black and white, but in between, or swirling paints and mixing colors. Gray is boring and uniform, lacking anything vivid. Gray is black, but not so dark. Gray is color scale, lightest to darkest, increments from white to black that fill everything in between.
Our next poem is Ballad to Mom, Dean Zucconi from the Branson School. Oh, good. Welcome, Dean.
Hi, Mom. I know the stitches that you sew for the man who wants pillows are painful to you because you want that kind of unity in your life. But strange things happen. And I know you want your kids back, but I promise, we're still here. We're just confused. We always have been. I just don't know what happened to us because we used to be your little boys, and we see you almost every day, but we live in different places. Even though we can hear you crying about the job again, or maybe about the one you didn't get, or how you lost everything because of Dad, but we love him too, so it's hard to take your side, and that's why we fight. Even though I know you deserve more than what you have because you fought so hard to be the best mom ever. And I wish I could tell you that you won, but the sound of the TV often drowns out the noise in the house. Though through that noise, I can always hear you talking to me about karma.
So the next poem is Scalpel by Carla Naylor from Redwood High School. Carla, let's welcome.
Scalpel. I enter the theater, all quiet, except the click of my heels on the stained hickory wood floor. I swing the door open to the marble room, my masculine hands swollen and dry. Wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. A bit of drug to calm the mind, all white. My white coat, trousers, shoes, and gloves, white room. I enter the fishbowl, walk along the pearl tile to the judgment stand. I am an angel. The victim is ready. A slice, a cut should save her life. My heartbeat quickens, her heartbeat lessens. Crimson is such a contrast to snow.